It's nice. It's a nice change of pace because it's a team that, although you haven't seen them, and it's not like in the season where you watch film and you know exactly what you're getting, so it makes it a little challenging in that part. But it's nice just going against someone different that doesn't know what you do. So it's cool. It heightens it, brings the competitive juices out, and because you're competing against another team, so it's fun. It's a nice change of pace. We had some good, had some bad, and I mean that's going to be any practice. Nothing's ever as good as it looks, and nothing's ever as bad as it looks. But there'll be some good stuff to learn off of the tape, I think, from all sides, or all groups, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, just got to get in there, get better from it, and build on it tomorrow.
You've been around this league a little bit now, and I asked Coach if certain guys flash. You see some guys that just flash that maybe you didn't know something about. What's that like?
I think what we do a good job of here is a lot of guys get rotated in with different groups, so which is nice. So it's not like I'm throwing to the same guys over and over, and Tua's throwing to the same guys, Skylar's throwing to the same guys. So we get to look at a bunch of different guys. So I wouldn't say anyone necessarily flashed because a lot of these guys have been doing it for a long time. I think River had a great play today on what we call the yak, the yards after catch angle on a third down. Braxton had a bunch of third down conversions. Tyreek had a nice play action up the seam. Like there's a lot of guys who made a lot of good plays. There's some good runs that might not look good to the untrained eye, but there was some really good stuff that our backs did. I think our front did a good job of handling different looks that like I said, we're not watching game film all week of them and then like we would in a game. So I think a lot of guys handled that challenge well. And now it wasn't all perfect by any means, so I'm not trying to say that we were lights out, but there were some good stuff, I thought.
For our bookkeeping purpose, how far do you grow up?
Pembroke Pines. So I live right now about 5 minutes from my house. Takes me 18 minutes, so 20 minutes from here. 21 minutes.
How often did you go to the stadium?
I went to the stadium a lot, whether it was for the Dolphins or the Marlins. I mean, I was telling Goldie back when I went, it was Pro Player. And then it went to Land Shark at one point, and then it's been through a bunch of name changes. But I remember my very first memory was back when it was Pro Player. I remember going to games. Shoot, I remember going to Game 4 World Series when the Marlins were in it, when Alex Gonzalez hit that home run. I can't remember. 2003, yep. I remember going to. I can't remember what week it was, but it was the winless year, and we caught that one slant and broke it to the house versus the Ravens to win our first game. I remember that game. I remember a ton of stuff. The Wildcat days with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. I remember it all. Awesome. Nice change of pace.
As far as just trash talkers in the league that you've come across, does anybody come to mind as somebody who's
Christian Wilkins. And it's nice he's on my team now. I'll have to deal with it for about 2 to 3 more weeks until training camp's over. Then I have to get to watch everybody else deal with it. And
like having to deal with him when you were on the Jets?
so I didn't play against them. But I did hear him from the sideline. If that tells you how much of a trash talker he is, but he backs it up. So it's not like one of those guys that loves the trash talk, but kind of doesn't show up. And Christian shows up every game, so you can't really get annoyed with it because you got to respect it. He's a hell of a player, and we've seen it. And that was probably a nice change of pace today, is not going up against him and seeing different D linemen. But yeah, I would definitely say Christian Wilkins.
Is there like a specific style he has? Like some guys are.
I think that's what makes him so great, is he can change it up. He knows what works, what doesn't work. I mean, some days he can be like really, really nice, and it kind of like confuses you. Other days he can be all up on you, just trash talking, saying God knows what. But like I said, he backs it up, and you got to respect it.
Like you mentioned, Braxton Burrows, obviously a history of that. What is it about his game that makes him so tough to defend on third downs?
I think the short area quickness is so good by him, and I think he does such a good job of making those one-step cuts. And you can feel his body language and know when he's leaning into someone, when he's getting ready to break out, and he has a really good feel for the zone looks as well. Like man to man, he's fast and he's crafty, so he's gonna beat you just off of pure speed a lot of the time. But it's the zone looks that he knows when he needs to throttle down, when he needs to kind of lean into something. If it's an outbreaker, but it's versus a cloud, he knows, all right, I can break out, but I don't need to break out as fast. I can kind of throttle in that dead zone. And there's little stuff like that makes him really, really fun to throw to.
Does he spend time with you quarterbacks and film? Like, 'cause it sounds like the trust there.
There's a lot of trust. You can just tell when you're talking to him after a route, he understands. He thinks it. He'll even sometimes come up to us and be like, "Hey, this is what I was thinking." And 9 times out of 10, it's the right thing. So it's a lot of fun to play with him. Luckily, I'm going on year 5, watching him get some ops.
Mike, 2 things that I was told about A-Chain that I noticed today. Number 1, he's good in pass protection. I saw him pick up a linebacker. Number 2, that he can run between the tackles despite his size.
Right.
What have you observed about Devon?
Yeah, I think he's very talented. I think you can see that from day one when he got here after rookie minicamp. He's athletically very gifted, and I think he's starting to really learn the nuances of the pro game, like you said, the pass pro and running between the tackles. He's not just a gadgety speed guy. He can pick up a pro, and that fires you up because that makes you want to get him the ball more as a quarterback. Because when that's a very selfless job, picking up a linebacker full steam. So it's a lot of fun to play with him. It's a lot of fun to watch him grow. Now he's got a long way to go, as we all do. I'm not trying to give him his flowers yet, but it's the progression that you've seen him is really cool.
This offense is a top foundation of the Shanahan offense of the Jets. Is there similar? Is it what difference?
Yeah, there's some like the base stuff is very similar. There's some differences formation, motion wise. I think we push the ball downfield a lot more than my time in New York, and I think a lot of it, like I've said before, has to do with personnel. I mean, we got obviously Reek, Jalen, Chosen now, Braxton's pushing it downfield, Braylon, like everybody can go. So I think we're lucky enough to have that, so we can push the ball downfield more here.
Other than going back, you watching games there as a kid, what's it like? Have you played here last year?
I have not played. I've backed up Joe a couple times. Last year I was hurt, last game of the year, so I didn't play. But I have not taken a meaningful snap in the stadium yet.
Does that have any different feelings for you?
Oh, 100%. It's going to be, I mean, the stadium looks completely different, though, so it won't feel the same. There's not a bunch of orange seats everywhere, and there's a nice little cover, and there's not a baseball field at the 30-yard line. But it's still the same building, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to have tons of friends and family out there. I mean, too many to count, but it's going to be a lot of fun.